As you know, my name is Daniel. I am a tech support for By Demes Ireland. And today I want to talk about Hyundai recorders. I want to go through basic settings, parameters, play with cameras a little, show you some basic setups like how to set up email, what you need to set up for HYU-CONNECT for the mobile apps and so on. So here we have a recorder, HYU-382. That's the IP recorder network recorder I'm gonna use today. I got a couple of cameras. Hooked up on it, and I'm gonna start with booting up HYU-VmS so you can see the picture. By the way, you can find all the apps on this web page. Just give me a second, I'll find it here for you. The web page. Hyundai-security.tech. You have first and foremost catalog, available apps for Android, for Apple. And if you go to Download Center, manuals for apps, for cameras, tester. You even have an example of Gmail, how to set it up, RTSP stream. This is for restoring the passwords, but you're going to be doing that stuff through me. You also have NVR manuals and all other kinds of manuals. And on the bottom here, you have softwares. So HYU-VmS, that's the one I'm going to use to show you the cameras, the recorder. And here you have some toolkits. I believe inside you'd find the SADP for scanning all the addresses and devices. Okay, so that's the web page with all the stuff. Put up the HYU-VmS. Few seconds to boot up everything. Already have my NVR added to it here soon. The first menu that would greet you would be this one, this control panel here. And from here you can, if you use similar apps like Smart PSS or Visions app, you'll find this familiar. So here you have main view where you can view all the cameras, playback, alarm events, modules customization, device management. Device management would be important to set up all the functions of the DVR. So I have it open here already. Click on it. This is the screen that's going to greet you. Your online devices are going to show here at the bottom. So right now I have my recorder, 382, and LPR camera from Hyundai. So a recorder here. I see it's going to show here that it's online. You can press this remote configuration button and you should get the window like this. So here, I mean, you can change the settings of a recorder through this window, or you can use what I usually like to use is just simple Internet Explorer and go to there. Internet Explorer, because I find that it has the least amount of issues with all those extensions that you need to show up the live view video. So after you install the extensions that the browser offer you, you just restart the browser and you should be good and able to log in. So I'm gonna log in with my default username and password. I have a couple of cameras set up here. Show you live view. That's the one. They're both set on mainstream. And you basically choose a window where you want the camera to be displayed and double click the camera. And you'll get something like this. Choose how many cameras you want to display at one time. I mean 4, you can put only 1, or max number of them, 16. It depends on the recorder, basically. For another one, I'll use this window and double click the camera name, and here I'll have another camera. On the right, you have, if your camera supports those, you'll have your basic PTZ functions. So this camera here, it's a multi-imager. It supports PTZ functions like I can move it anywhere. I can focus, zoom, and adjust the iris. This is the one that I'm on right now. It's somewhere around here. Let me find it. This one here. So as you can see, it's supporting H.265 compression to save your hard disk space. Already supports OnWIF, which is kind of standard these days. All the specs sheets here, you can find them on our webpage, bydemes.com. I'm not gonna go through all of them because there's so many of them. And if you guys have any questions about specific specification that you're not familiar with, you can ask me now or later through emails. Doesn't matter. To our put it all over the screen so you can see it better here. The functions here. Second tab is Playback. I'm sure you're all familiar with Playback. You can again choose which window you want to playback the camera in, and you double click the camera and you will add this camera to this window, and then you can choose your date, your time, and you can drag here, and when you press play, it's going to start displaying your video. You can display more cameras at the same time, of course, by just adding, clicking on another window and adding another camera to that window. And then you got to play it as well and choose time. It's very basic playback and live view. The main window for setting up our DVR and cameras is configuration. Start from the beginning. You can choose all different parameters regarding your live view. You want to export your files, where you want to save them, your snapshots. Establish system. Got your basic information, nothing special about it. Your time settings. These other tabs. You got the resolution here, VGA HDMI resolution. Maintenance, you can reboot your device from the web browser. You don't have to be physically with the recorder, which is very handy in some cases. You can default it. You can export your device parameters to use them later. At the log here as well, you can check the logs, well, what was happening with the recorder over time. Next tab is security. Camera management. Here you can find the IP addresses of the cameras, see if their status, what protocol they're using. You can see it's saying Hikvision here. Well, that's because it's based off Hikvision, so it's pretty much equivalent to it. Next one is user management. You can add users. Well, I don't need more than admin in my case. Online users. We have network, basic settings. I have my recorder set up as a DHCP, but some people prefer to put a static IP address. In that case, you would uncheck this box here, and you would choose your IP address, gateway, and subnet mask. Turn this, okay, defaulted. Here you would set up your dynamic DNS if you're setting your recorder through that way. These other functions as well. You can change ports here. You can enable universal plug and play if you want to kind of streamline your communication between the devices on your network. Next one is advanced settings. Here's the email I was talking about. You need to fill in all these little boxes to get the thing working. A second here. I'm going to show you this later as well, how to set up your Gmail to allow less secure apps, so you can send your emails and receive those email alerts. So many windows open here, so I have to manage through all of them. Your sender would be basically a name. You would put a name here of a person who's sending it, then sender's email. So if you're gonna, you can create new Gmail account and make that account as a just blank account that's gonna send all the emails to your private email with the notifications from the recorder. You gotta fill in the SMTP server. These you can Google. For Gmail, I believe. So 25, I believe. Okay, no, this one is 25. Let's see, Gmail. TP. It's 4. Okay, yeah. So TLS is 587 and SSL is 465 for Gmail. Now depends which protocol are you gonna use. If you're using SSL, then enable it and type in 465. You can try both and see which one's gonna work for you. Here you wanna check this one because you want email to send you image of what happened, of the event. And authentication would be your sending Gmail's username and password. So you gotta log in into that sender email from it. Here you have a receiver's address. Here you would put your Gmail, which is gonna receive all the notifications, and then you can test it. If you guys need, if you have a situation that you need to set this up, you can of course give me a ring or email me. I'll do my best to help you with it. More popular these last few, I'd say, years is platform access. So this would be your kind of streamlined way to remotely check your cameras through the Connect, for example. I will show you this later. Next tab, we have we have video and audio. I'm just gonna run through these because I'm sure you guys are familiar with all these settings. So you got your mainstream and substream. You can adjust the qualities for if you have your camera on the mainstream or if it's under substream. Got my first camera, the HYU 405, set up on, I believe, yeah, this is 4K. I have it set up for 4K, but my monitor only supports 1080p, so that's what I see. So HYU 485, let me show you the one. That's this one here. It's a pretty good camera, as you can see. It has all kinds of, it's actually, yeah, 4K. Lighter as before. I mean, I'm not gonna go through all the specifications. If you guys have a question, you can always ask. To this, here you would choose your bitrate type. If you leave it as constant, let's say it's gonna constantly take a specific number of, I mean megabytes, gigabytes for your recording. If you do variable, it's gonna change quality of the picture. Then you can set it to highest. I mean, what I did at some point, I always would put it on variable and then go with like higher. Kind of conserve some space. I mean, we'll leave it on constant now. Frame rate, I mean, most people go with 15. The more you go with the FPS, the smoother the whole picture is going to be, and I believe it's going to take up more space on your hard drive. You can just bitrate, of course. Video encoding, this camera supports H.265, even supports H.265 plus. You can turn it on, and as long as the camera and the recorder support this, you can save up to, I believe, 70%. 265 would say like 50% more, and then plus would save around 70% more of the space. Now this would be all video content analysis. I mean, it's like motion, let's say motion for the cameras, or I believe it would be connected with the functions of the recorder. Something that's available for Hyundai cameras. Next one is channel 0. If you enable this channel 0, you can have more cameras showing on one channel. Quality is probably going to be less than if you have one camera per channel, but you have this option as well if you want to show 4 cameras on one channel. And then here is how much power you're going to give it, how much processing, and again frame rate here. His image. You can, I mean, adjust basic stuff like brightness, contrast, saturation, change OSD settings, name, date, week. You want to leave these dates and camera number, you're going to leave them non-transparent, non-flashing. You can set this up how you want. Just little things. Mask is if you want to, let's say, hide particular part of the camera's angle. If you want this area to be for privacy, you can draw the area like this. Area will not show, and you can save it then or clear it. Here are all areas. Disable it for now. Skip something here. Next one is event. basic event, you got your motion detection. And I mean, every camera would pretty much come as a full screen motion detection, but if you want, you can draw the area. So my door is behind this area here, and I can use this area. I gotta clear first. Then I can only mark my door for motion detection and save that option as well. You can choose sensitivity for that motion. I mean, this is something you have to play with. It shouldn't be fixed. It should be as you need it, the sensitivity. Schedule now linkage method. What do you want the recorder to do in case this motion is triggered? You can tell a recorder to give you audible warning, send email, notify surveillance center full screen, pop up the camera on full screen if there's motion, and so on. And then all these other options here. Tampering, if you know what that is, basically, it's if you want to, again, you can draw the area and have that monitored. Your loss, alarm inputs, outputs. If your hard drive is full, it's gonna beep. If your illegal login, network disconnected, you can tell the recorder what to do in specific case. Now, these were basic events. There's also smart events. Already set up something. Well, these smart events would be if your camera and if your recorder support it. Here it's not really highlighted which one my camera supports. If you go on this one, it's gonna say that the camera does not support that function. But I know for a fact that it supports line crossing. This is how you would set it up. I mean, figure it out first. So if you area, you wanna a door, and if you wanna draw this all the way here, and if you set it up as a line is crossed from either direction, either from A or B, your recorder will do an action. So action can be, again, audible warning, send you an email, or whatever else. So choose only one direction to trigger the event alarm, from if someone crosses from A to B, or vice versa ways, which is what usually people do. And sensitivity. That's line crossing. There's also region entrance detection, I believe. Is that the one? No. Intrusion detection. So I personally have this set up on my. So I got the camera on the wall, and I got the camera facing my bike outside. And if someone enters, so this would be the area when this camera is facing out. This would be the area where my bike is. And if anyone crosses this rectangle, my recorder is gonna beep, and I'm gonna look at the screen and see if anyone's messing with my bike. Last bike stolen, so I had to do some measures. That's that. You can as well draw this area. Basically like this. Let's say you wanna keep this box under surveillance. You just click here, click on this one, then click here again, and click here, and you got the rectangle, and it's giving you more areas to cover. But in this case, you right click the mouse, and it's gonna save this little area. Gotta save this, and it's gonna say here save succeeded, and that's it. So I believe this camera would also support object removal. So if, let's say, if this box is removed, it's gonna give you again warning for it. This would be something. No, this would be something. Unattended baggage detection. This would be something they use on airports. In case someone leaves some kind of weird-looking bag somewhere where they shouldn't leave it. So that's these options, smart event options. Next one is storage. Here you can set up your camera event recording, motion recordings, or continuous recordings. Some people do both ways, or some people just go with the continuous. You can set dates, and you can see here times. So I believe that you click on this, and then you can choose which one you want. Recorders have like a little pen, and then you go with, I mean, you just mark whatever you want on motion, and you mark whatever you want on continuous, and so on. Here you can choose the camera. Pretty simple schedule settings. Here we have a storage management. That's my hard drive in there. You can format the hard drive from here as well. So no need to be physically with the recorder. There's all, as you can see here, all kinds of bad sector detections. You can start your, if there's any bad sectors on hard drive. I mean, let's see, maybe I have some. I think so, but this seems like it's gonna take some time. No, it's usually fast, but anyway, you can test your hard drive through this. We're gonna cancel it for now. Next, advanced settings. You can set your holidays. Again, special times for your recorder, when to do what. To change these, you can just leave these as they are. So that's pretty much all the settings here. There's other like vehicle detection and video content analysis, but this camera wouldn't do that. I have some other cameras, like cameras with license plate reading. Then you can set up, but that's gonna be for another training. I'm just gonna stick with basics on this one. So that's the recorder through the web browser. Now I'm gonna open another tab, and I'm gonna open my camera. I got one of the cameras connected through the switch. Camera connected here. Which one? 444. One. I'm gonna show you a few. The camera as well. It's pretty much the same interface as for the recorder. I mean, live view, playback, configuration. I'm gonna run through all of them again because they're pretty much similar to the recorder. You can set time for your camera and reboot the camera, default it, set up RTSP streams. I believe here, somewhere around here. User management, IPs. the most important things are these settings here. So you can set up quality for the camera and rates and bit rates and so on. You have it. Now here on the image side, you have more options than you would have when you're looking through the recorder. I mean, this is basically like you went through the menus of the recorder and you're changing the settings of the camera there. You got the exposure settings, but I don't think there's a real need to change these settings unless you have a specific environment where you really need to set up something specific, like this, for example, like wide dynamic range for the camera. I have it on this camera because I had a camera facing through the window, and outside it's very bright, while in the room is kind of not so bright. And then the lighting of the camera would get confused. Sensor of the camera would get confused, and you would get really weird picture, kind of dark, bright picture. So if I turn it off, it's probably gonna change like scenery. Well, maybe not here because it's looking inside the room, but if it's looking somewhere outside where it's bright, you would see the difference. Here you can set the level of the range, or you can leave it in auto, and it's gonna do its thing. Balance the image enhancements. I know Ali asked me about this. So we got here under video adjustment, you got the mirroring. I believe this is what you were mentioning. You can change, basically camera is fixed, and then you can change how it looks at the environment outside. So you can mirror it all ways, basically. Left, right, up, down, and it off. I mean, these are some standards, and nothing special here. You really just change these if you really need to. You have always these settings. Similar thing like on the recorder. I mean, modes. You can move these if they're in your way. You can move these like everywhere. Some people like have something specific in this corner, and they want to move the name of the camera like here, and then move it here and save it, and that's it. Even change font color to whatever. Wait. Video tempering, video, image. Again, privacy mask, picture overlay. Okay, this is similar. I went through these on the recorder. Motion detection, areas. So I believe I showed you everything regarding these cameras. So of course, the web interface. So that's it for that. But you can do all these in HYU-VmS as well. I mean, you can see the window here. Much all the same settings, just through the app. So if you don't want to go through browser, you can use this nice little app for your desktop. Here, I want to show you actually control on this one. If that's okay. Okay. So basically, if you want to work with some camera, I mean this camera here on the right. Can I put it on the whole screen? Yes, I can here. Actually this one here. When you click here, PTZ controls gonna pop up. You can move the camera. Really nice to have these options through app and no need to be on the recorder. You can go in all directions, and all the zoom and focus and so on are here. This one is zoomed all the way in. We're not gonna play with it. If you get lost with these zoom and unzoom options, I believe there's like auxiliary focus. So if I do this, I'm not sure how to go back or whatever. You press this auxiliary focus, and it should recalibrate itself. Wait. Function doesn't want to do that, but I know there is a function sound around here that when you press it, it's automatically gonna. This one is, I believe, yeah, 3D positioning. Basically, you can just click this option and then anywhere on the screen, and it's gonna 3D position itself. You don't have to play with all these arrows. You just click on the screen and it's gonna go there for you. This is the one. I know there is an option to focus it automatically. You know, you can just play with plus and minus, and there we go. So what else do I want to show you? That's one camera, and another camera is this one here. I mean, they're looking at the same spot, so it seems like they're the same camera, but they're just one next to each other on the wall. Same thing. Now this one doesn't have can't move 360, but it has zoom and focusing itself. So that's what it does when you press. I believe this is the button. Could be it's not functioning for every camera. A 2.212 millimeters varifocal lens, so it's gonna do its thing. Good camera. Okay, so that's that. Just more options here on device management where you're on this starting screen. As you can see all the basic information of the recorder. See your QR code. Online users, you can delete, modify, add new recorders. See your builds here. You can upgrade them through this. You don't have to upgrade them on the physical side of the recorder. So let me see what else I want to show you. Things written down. And through all these different options of the recorder. Well, I just want to mention that we have on our webpage we have both analog and IP. I'm sure Ron is familiar with it. We have all kinds of different recorders and cameras, and we also have these new Hyundai ranges, which are AI Sense. They're basically similar to some other technologies from some other manufacturers. It's a AI Sense is able to differentiate human body and the vehicle in specific environments. where, let's say, where there's a large number of objects is gonna see that human is human and the vehicle is vehicle, or it's gonna filter out false alarms if it's like an animal or something without any threat like that. So basically, if you're looking for AI sense, you gotta look for the recorder that can support that function. Then some cameras have it as well, but the main thing is to have a recorder that's gonna support it. I mean, we have 5-in-1 ZVRs, which are analog, and they're gonna support HD CVI, HD TVI, AHD, CVBS, IP channels. P2P functions, then those compressions that I talked about, H.265 plus, support fisheye warping, 4K, of course, license plate readers, intelligent functions like tripwires, unattended objects, on with. I believe that's just just the beginning. There's so many cameras and recorders and so many versions of them. Now, if you are interested in setting that email up, aside from those parameters that you need to set up that I showed you, there's also Gmail. Gmail can be stubborn sometimes. What you have to do with your, I do it on both sender Gmail and receiver Gmail. You got to go to your, when you go here, I mean, click your name and then go to Google account, and this screen is going to pop up. And what you have to do is you have to go to security and allow these less secure apps, allow them access. So you got to turn it off. And when you do that, you'll probably get your email notifications working. So that's that. You guys have any questions? I can answer. I can try and answer a couple of questions if you have any. In the meantime, I also want to mention the HYU-CONNECT. So it's a mobile app. There's a version for desktop as well, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, I can check. But there's a mobile app for Hyundai recorders. What you do there is it's available for iPhone and Android devices. You make an account. You of course, you got to make sure your recorder is online. And when your recorder is online, you go to network section of your recorder, which is easily found on your when you're at the recorder, and I believe it's even located here. Press QR code, is going to pop up here, and you scan your through the app. You scan that QR code, and if your recorder is online, it's going to add the recorder, and you can add it on your mobile phone, and that's gonna pretty much work. I mean, there's a few other settings that I can't show you now because I can't display my mobile phone screen at this moment. I'll see if I can get that working at some point, and then I can show it to you guys maybe later on. And that's it. You can check your cameras and do some of the settings as well. Could I find? Definitely gonna ask questions about it, of course. P2P. It already works with P2P. Check though. I know that works, of course, static IP and platform access, but P2P, yeah, I'll definitely check it, and I'll let you know through emails, or I'll give you a ring, whatever works. We'll sort it out. Okay, so I believe I showed you everything I wanted to show you. You guys have any questions? I might be wrapping it up through the options, different models as well. Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm glad it works. Any issues with it? I mean, it's a different brand, so quite an undertaking. Have other stuff that we will do. I'm gonna be showing you portaphones. I'm gonna show you how they can connect to HYU-VmS as well. And we'll go through their settings. And I mean that's the plan. Go through portaphones as well as go more into the LPR, like in more details. Let me check. I know there's a few other plans that are coming. LPRs, I'll show as well. We have a app. It's still being developed, but it already supports the HUA, Hyundai Hikvision, and maybe a few other cameras or portaphones as well. Basically, it's an app like HYU-VmS, but it's going to support different brands. So you can have different brands on that one app. I'll prepare training for that at some point. Also for, as I said, the portaphones, LPRs, there's going to be some. There's even a plan for Hikvision X Hub, if you guys are familiar with it. There's going to be training for that as well. I'm not sure when, but probably in maybe 1 or 2 months. Yeah, Ali, I know. See how we're gonna fix all that up and go through that as well. If you have any questions, you can always contact our sales manager here in Ireland or me. We're gonna do our best to provide answers to those questions. Is coming soon, and you can visit Ireland office here in I believe Dublin 10. There's an address on the web page. You can visit. We can demo stuff for you if you need help, or if we have questions that either you or me can't answer. I'll ask some colleagues, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Thank you for attending this short, and I hope to see you guys again.